I do not have a dinger.
You don't have anything to clank?
I don't have a clink. No clank, no ding.
It's Dingless
It's
Tuesday.
not working. It's Dingless Tuesday, guys. It's Dingless Tuesday. Welcome to Anchor Watch, our late night below deck chat, where, of course, I think everyone knows what Anchor Watch is by now, right? Josh and I come and take over Adam's channel and be really obnoxious and talk about boats, big buoys, and naughty yachties.
And big tips.
Everyone and big loves tips. Who can forget a big tip? I mean, we love a big tip. Some more than others. Guys, hit that like button on the way in and help us out, support us. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today.
We have a lot of stuff to talk about. We have a lot of stuff coming next week we need to talk about. We have our opening segment we're going to do every week to start with. I mean, should we bring them on?
Yeah, we should bring them on. And right before I bring them on, if anyone is in South Florida, guys, next week we are doing a cast member watch party for Captain Carey's birthday party down here in South Florida. So if you're in Palm Beach County, Broward County, wherever you are in South Florida, if you want to come and join, this goes to a great cause. It's a $25 ticket, and all the funds go to benefit the Children's Museum of the Treasure Coast and the local Palm Beach Moms Network. And bring an unwrapped toy if you're coming for kids in need this season. It's going to be a lot of fun. We don't know how we are doing Anchor Watch next week, but we will be doing it live from the event.
We're
in talks.
We're
in talks right now.
We're trying to do our first live. Well, this is live, but our first live, kind of feeling like, I don't know, Rockin' New Year's kind of thing. We'll see, but we're gonna have guests coming on and stuff like that. We're just trying to figure out the logistics. It's a little tough to do when you're not in your home office. So
yeah, it will be fun though. So a lot of surprise guests, a big surprise guest actually, which I think I said last night on the members only live. If you guys are part of the Up and Adams family, we said who that guest is. So that's a big guest.
I guarantee you said it. You guys love to blab.
I know it's just so fun.
It's the members only chat. You guys say too much.
We say too much, but we deleted it because we said way too much last night.
Oh boy,
way too much.
Oh boy. Okay. So if you see them going on live with the members only chat, run, because you don't know how long they'll leave the video up.
This is true. All right, guys. Well, we do have a special guest here tonight, of course, to kick us off with our new opening segment, and that would be Captain Sean, and we have some questions for him. Captain Sean, welcome back.
Good evening. I'm live from Seattle.
What are you doing in Seattle this week? Because I feel like every time we talk to you, you were doing something monumental in the yachting industry.
Yeah, no, it's been busy. I was in Holland 2 weeks ago. I was giving a talk on plastics in the ocean there, and then this week I am in Seattle, Washington, at a conference called the NavTech Conference. And I was speaking on the future of navigation in the marine industry and how it applies to not just yachting, but the commercial marine industry, to fishing and to the military.
Wow. I mean, these are things that are beyond our comprehension, but what does the future of navigation look like?
It's all about AI. We're all out of a job.
Oh, shit. So it's going to be do they have Tesla yachts where you can, right now we're watching Captain Lee struggle with his health just a little bit on below deck currently. And I'm always thinking, wouldn't it be nice if you could just push park and it would just do it itself? Is that ever going to be a reality?
No, it's funnily enough, Volvo has got a boat that'll do that. They make a Volvo IPS drive. And that was one of the guys in Holland. Actually, the president of Volvo Holland was talking about that exact same feature. It's literally the boat will dock itself.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That makes everyone a captain. Yeah. Adam is actually better at driving a boat than a car. He's actually pretty good.
Well, there you go.
He's pretty good. He has that Florida boy in him because he can tie knots like crazy too. But Sean, we do have a lot of questions for you because we started this new segment for people to just kind of be able to ask questions for, if they had any curiosity in the yachting industry or things that we're watching on below deck that maybe people are like, okay, how does that happen? What is this?
Yeah, and everybody, if you want to ask Captain Sean questions, there's a few ways you can do it. You can leave it in the comments below, which we're always checking. You can message Captain Sean directly, or you can message us directly. But there's no excuse. If you have any kind of nautical question, you cannot say you can't get it answered, because you've got about 1 million roads to reach Captain Sean.
All right, Sean. So our first question tonight is actually from Betty. And this is an interesting question, Betty. So you left this in our comments last week. And she said, what advice would you give Josh and Jason to prepare them mentally and physically to make a crossing from the North Pole to the South Pole? I read that near the South Pole, there could be 15-meter swells. Also, would January be the best time to do that?
All right, good question. So mentally and physically, a trip from the North Pole to the South Pole. We're just gonna say we're just gonna go for it, and we're gonna race from pole to pole. I would say actually bulk up on the calories first. I mean, Josh, you're already there, but
Hey, so am I. That's why I only had to have the table to hear.
Yeah, we were only all shooting from that. But no, because there was when we did that was one of the things we did, the Northwest Passage. We were all in okay shape, but by the end of that trip, we were like emaciated, just because it was constantly we were on the go. I would say yeah. So just get into the best physical shape that possibly you could get into. Mentally, you guys are already there. You're in the circus and you perform. Actually, it's the same skills that you learned while you were performing in Cirque du Soleil would translate perfectly to be on board a boat. So just be physically in shape, and mentally, you just know you're in for a long tour.
As kind of a warm up, would it help to play with our dinghies?
Absolutely.
God bless.
Well, I figured you start with a smaller boat, right? I mean,
you work your way up to a bigger, vessel.
It never is clean here at Anchor Watch. That's for sure.
And what was the second part of the question? She said,
would January be a good time to do that?
Oh yeah,
January's so anytime from basically like right around Christmas up until February, March is a good time.
Was that for the South Pole, right?
So you want to go from I assume she's talking about the Drake Passage, which is the bottom of South America, to Antarctica. Yeah, and those are the best times to go.
Okay, that's interesting. How long would something like that take? Like if you were going to go pole to pole.
Well, it's like you could do it. I mean, it depends. Well, it depends how fast a boat is, but I mean, you could do it in 6 months if you pushed it, with the right stops. And that's actually one of the things we're talking about doing in the television show that we're developing, is going actually from pole to pole and doing this exact same voyage. And we're going to plan on doing it in about 1.5 years.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Okay, wait. I had a question that I promised the viewers last week I would get to the bottom of. But what is the poop deck, Captain Sean?
Well, the poop deck. Excellent.
Wait, were you prepared for this question?
I was. Well, no, I remember it was Josh had mentioned it last week, so I was prepared. So the poop deck is actually it's derived from the French, which is la poupe. I'm not making this up, and that means. And that means the stern deck. So that means the back, all the way from the back of the boat. Now,
so there's nothing to do with poop.
Nothing to. I'm sure it's been pooped off of, but the term the head. Like I got to go to the head, make a head. And that's
yeah.
Okay, so that is actually in the front of the boat, in the head of the boat, and they used to. And the reason it was up there was because they would sit on like basically a board with some holes cut in it, and the waves would then wash all the poo off the bow of the boat. And that was and if you had a good head up there, it kept it nice and clean.
Hey, so wait, when I watch like you see like an old pirate ship and the captain's on that back overlooking the whole rest of the
Yeah,
ship, and
that's
he's
the
steering,
poop deck.
he's on the poop deck.
Yeah, and technically that's the poop deck's
Fancy.
is just behind that deck. That deck's known as the quarter deck.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's bring our next question because I'm really curious about this. Is a more serious question. How well, Maria, this is from Maria, by the way, how well supported is mental health in the yachting industry?
Well, it used to be like not at all, and nervous breakdowns were pretty much a common occurrence. And it was like how actually on Ohana, which is one of my first charter boats. We did 17 weeks of charter back to back. It was grueling and it was brutal. And you watched. It was different to watch how men and women handle stress. Not entirely exclusive, but the women on board the boat that were mostly in the interior would crying and I mean they're doing their jobs. They were good at it, but they would relieve that stress that they're under by like crying jags or going into depression or just turning on each other. And whereas the guys on board would just become more and more just withdrawn and stoic and go into complete robot mode. And it was just interesting to see how everybody handled stress, but how we actually dealt with that. There was no mechanism for it. It was just basically you worked until you just dropped or you quit or you couldn't go anywhere. Now there's a company called MedAir, which does have a doctor online that you can call. You can just pick up the phone and be like, I'm really having a hard time about something, and you can talk to them. And I've had crew members that take advantage of that, and it really did help. So there's much more of a mechanism built in today because I think there's just a better understanding of mental health and that things that were tolerated. Or just kind of you just said, walk it off. Like, when you get a concussion in the NFL 30 years ago, they're like, yeah, walk it off. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
And I think just knowing that there's that option there too is good for crew. Like Josh, when we toured with Cirque du Soleil, we had a card, we had a phone number, where you could call just if you needed something because you're in this odd job and all over the world, and it's strange. It's strange.
Sean, so wait, I have a question for you since we're talking about health and stuff. So on this last episode of Below Deck, we saw Captain Lee talking about, like, we overheard a phone call and he's talking to his doctor saying, hey, listen,
I need more Viagra.
I don't know if that was
and then it cut to no, he said his left leg, like, he had no feeling. It was totally numb. It was going out and stuff. So I'm curious, like, and he came into this knowing he was, recovering off a pretty serious injury and stuff. Realistically, would he be allowed to charter? Like, would he get the insurance? Would he be allowed to charter? Or do we assume that there's maybe a second, or at least someone who's ready to take over as captain at any moment because of his condition? Because I can't imagine what it'd be like if they got out to sea and something happened to him.
Well,
and Adrian, and last week when Adrian was here, she said that she can't imagine him just being alone on that boat in his condition.
There's in order to have a U.S. captain's license, or really any type of license, well, if you have a British license, which is an MCA license, you need a thing called an ENG1, which is a medical certificate. And I think you got to renew it every year or every 2 years. I forget which. And they basically give you a basic physical that says you're okay. And the U.S. Coast Guard requires the exact same thing, that you have a physical before you go into it. And that's the the basic stuff. If you have, I know guys that have had heart attacks or strokes, and the Coast Guard has pulled their license or put restrictions on it. We had a guy at the Highline Ferries who had a heart attack, and then he wasn't allowed to run. He wasn't allowed to be on board the boat without another licensed officer on board. I actually had to, I had to ride with him one time. Not because he was in perfectly good health, but his license had that restriction on it, that there needed to be someone else on board. So if he does have legitimate health problems, then yeah, just by the law, there would be someone else that was on board that could take over in the event that he was unable to.
Interesting. I mean, that's definitely running through everyone's head. That was my first note tonight, was Captain Lee's, his back, his leg, he's really struggling. And is that a danger? I mean, there was one time you could see him, like, it was so awkward. He was walking, and I feel bad for him right now.
Well,
that's
too. I mean, that's too bad. Like, you don't want to see anyone in pain or having that type, having. And he's had, he's had a long. And I've said this before. It's like people said, "Oh, do you want to be Captain Lee?" And I always said, "No." I said, "I want to be myself." And also, too, it's like no one could be Captain Lee. I mean, he's really a reason why the show is as popular as it is.
Yeah.
And to just, to see him kind of in pain and go out of that, nobody wants that for him. So
absolutely. Sean, thank you for answering our questions. I'm sure we have a lot more coming your way next week. So next week we won't be here, but the week after.
What? I thought you said you're just going to do it live.
Yes, we're going to do a live. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you want to jump in, that'd be great.
Hell yeah.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. It's going to be a great week next week. I think it'll be fun.
All right, cool. And yes, I just noticed in the comments, yes, I do have my Steve Jobs outfit on.
Yeah. Sean is going to release a new iPad this week, guys. So really
I am. I got nothing for that one. Anyway, have a great show. We'll see you next week.
Have a great week.
See you next week.
Safe travels.
Follow me on Excitement Factory and message me there if you have any other questions.
Yeah, and then we'll answer them on the show. And I already have another question that I didn't get to ask tonight, which I will be saving for next week. So
the suspense.
Sean, thank you so much for taking your time. We appreciate you so much.
Always. All right, buddy.
Talk to you
later. Travels on your trip.
Okay.
Oh,
wait. Sorry, what?
Whoa, no. And it was like I'm wearing pants. Anyway, I just ripped my shirt off. I'm going to be in LA tomorrow. So, actually, I have. I'll tell you guys backstage who I'm meeting with in LA.
Okay.
Ooh,
And tomorrow night for dinner, is there a Captain Sean meetup at a restaurant or something?
Is it?
Naughty Yachties. Message Captain Sean if you want to go to dinner tomorrow night. Let's get him someone to hang out with tomorrow night if he doesn't have dinner plans. I'm gonna call down the army on him. Let's get like 40 people to go to dinner with Captain Sean.
Sure.
All right.
Good night.
Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Right, bye.
Okay, we're actually kind of lucky to have Sean answer questions, because there's sometimes we're like so lost in what we're talking about when it comes to the yachting industry,
Yeah, here's a little secret for all of our viewers. We don't know what the hell we're talking about.
We have zero fucking idea. But we do need to talk about this episode, because we asked everybody in the live chat what they thought about this episode, which is episode 3 of the new season, season 10, which I'm actually, Josh, before I go to the poll and see what people thought, what did you think of episode 3? And what are you thinking of this season so far?
So I'll say this. I'll tell you what I voted, because I voted in the poll. I gave it a 3 out of 4.
Okay.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good episode. I think it definitely wasn't a 1 or a 2. I'm reserving my 4 anchors for, like, we've gotten some sneak previews where it looks like some stuff's going to go down. So I think we're definitely going to have some 4 episodes. So I'm like, this was a 3. It was entertaining. It was kind of an establishing thing. You know, the first couple episodes were like they're figuring out the boat, they're figuring out their jobs. They really didn't have time to like figure each other out. But now we're starting to.
Oh,
There's some
now we're starting to
familiarity.
see.
Yeah, and actually, I'll bring it up later. I ran a poll that I think like 38 people answered on Twitter, 35.
Oh
So
yeah,
we'll
no, I
talk about
voted
that
on
in a
that
little
one
bit.
too.
We'll talk
Okay.
about that in a little bit. But yeah,
Well,
so
like you
I don't know,
said,
what did you think? What did you vote on?
I got to give it a 3 too. It's a solid 3, and that's kind of
Mhm.
what won the poll tonight. 44% with 3 anchors instead of 4, but 42% right behind it. This is so well produced this year.
Yep.
It's great, and I love that we have this new huge yacht. It's so fun to see. But I think what I'm
Yeah.
most impressed with is they're kind of like getting into it slowly. We're not diving straight into the drama. We're not, we kind of are with Alyssa and Camille, but we're not like jumping straight into everything. But who has me so excited this season is Frasier. And I just want to get your opinion on him and how you think he's doing so far as the chief stew, because he has like kind of big shoes to fill here, right? We still haven't found a chief stew since Kate Chastain left who can last or be here as long. And I hope Frasier is going to be kind of the resident chief stew moving forward. He's also the first gay chief stew. But what are your opinions on Frasier?
I mean, of course, you and I have found him entertaining from the first, his first season. We just really enjoyed him. We thought he was entertaining. The thing I like about him on the show is we are watching his personal development. We're watching his like growth and his adventure figuring out this role. I definitely think he's up for it. I think he's going to be great. I think he's only going to get stronger and stronger, and he's enjoyable to watch. He seems like an enjoyable person to be around. So it's not, you're rooting for him, or at least I am. And I feel like most people are. We're all rooting for him. We want him to succeed. And the fact that he's, having some challenges at the beginning, it's good. That means that makes it an interesting story to watch. I think there's a couple things he's kind of learning right now. One, he's learning the boat and navigating that job on that giant boat. But in addition, I think one of the things we're starting to see creep up is he's also learning to manage people and personalities, and he's being challenged right now, or he's starting to be challenged on, and he's called himself out on it, that he needs to start being more involved and getting involved with these things. Especially, well, I'm alluding to Alyssa and Camille and their.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is definitely going to be some drama moving forward. And just on Frasier really quick too, and I love the comments coming in too. Tess says he's got a good mix of snark and skill.
Yeah,
which I have to agree. Dina, this is true. Frasier is on Hannah's podcast. I have not listened to. I heard he was going to be on there, so that is something interesting for people to know. I like he doesn't need to cause drama. Okay, yeah, I understand.
He doesn't feel the need to cause drama. Yeah. Hashtag Kyle. Yeah.
Hashtag Kyle. I can understand that. And this is kind of why we liked Kyle a little bit in Below Deck Med too, right? Like he was just a drama maker. But
if you remember, by the end of the season, though, he had kind of overstayed his welcome for a lot of people. And he kind of did it a little too much. And so hopefully, I'm hoping, because we know he's going to be in the new season. We've seen the photos leaked. So I believe he's like announced he's going to be on new season. But I hope he learned from that and tones it down a little bit,
Yeah, just a little bit. The same way that I guess Sandy took audience criticism too, right? I mean, she just came in this season, kind of what we wanted. We wanted that refreshed version of Sandy. But when it comes to Frasier, I do have to say I'm really loving his like OCD nature about even just the bed making, but the way he's so patient with Haley, who doesn't have a lot of experience or who is in the yachting industry on and off, right, for the past 4 years, she said.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed with his leadership skills thus far. However, I think there are some maybe personalities who will challenge that along the way. I mean, first off, we have
Camille.
We have
Camille.
I was gonna break. God, she just looks like Caroline Stanbury so much. It's like crazy. Even the younger photos of Camille, I'm like, you could be Caroline Stanbury. This is so crazy. Ladies of London. ladies of London. So we have like Camille and Alyssa are not really hitting it off on the, the right foot at the beginning, right? You have Alyssa, who is now second stew, who is taking her job seriously, who's trying to be that kind of right hand to Frasier. And I don't find Alyssa being bossy. I don't find her being demanding. I just find her doing her job. But Camille
I've
isn't really
never
taking it that way.
once, when Alyssa asked something of Camille, did I think it was out of bounds? Did I think it was over the line? Did I think it was said in a mean or rude way? She was just doing her job. And the fact that she literally has to go back after everything Camille does and do a quality check, and 9 times out of 10, it does need to be corrected, is aggravating. It's like, are you a child? You are getting paid to do this job. So are you doing the
Yes.
job or not? Like,
I mean, and so Gabby from Below Deck Sailing, she tweeted something on her Twitter. She said, yes, these floater positions, you are the lowest ranked person on the ship. You're there to do both jobs. You're kind of just there to help out. It isn't, extremely rewarding, but just do your damn job. It's really right. I hope this isn't something we see from her, because we're seeing her, Camille, is kind of being a bit lazy. She needs to go have a cigarette. She needs to lay down. She loves watching the sunset. She stands around, and people are kind of like, okay, girl, what?
yeah,
is she not
you're
getting
not
the
on
direction,
charter, right? You're not on
Right.
charter.
And sometimes it felt like that.
Yeah.
It did feel like that. But do you think that she's just not getting enough direction from, like, let's say Ross or Frasier, like, you need to be here and do this, and she's still trying to figure it out? Or do you think she is just plain lazy?
She strikes me as the kind of girl that there is not a single way you can tell her what to do without it coming off as rude to her or bossy, or she's just one of those people, to me, that is like, she doesn't want to work. And so no matter how you ask, you can get on your knees and crawl to her and beg her to do it, and she'll be like, you didn't do it right.
Well, fast forward to, with the whole, it was towards the end of the episode where Camille was just being so ridiculous with the whole cooler situation. When Alyssa's like, did we get the other cooler? Did you get the cooler? And we're having a lot of cooler situations happening on Below Deck Adventure and Below Deck currently. But she acts like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, the guests have been waiting. I need to bring them over. But the cooler has everything in it, girl. That's the whole point of doing this beach picnic.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it literally had all of the drinks, which, like, yeah, food can come on a different boat, but when they hit the sand, they're going to want a cocktail. They're going to want something to drink. And what? She expects them to wait there, licking the sand until the boat, until they head back to the yacht, grab the cooler, and come back. Is she nuts? So, yeah, she's just lazy.
I feel like everyone's on the same page with Camille here. Like, everyone is just saying that she's just like not.
You know what's
not
funny?
there.
And I think she does it to anger me. Natalie says that, like, she likes Camille, and I'm like, what? And
Whoops.
she jokes that this is. I think she's joking. I pray she's joking that this is her favorite cast member. And
okay, because we see this in seasons before too, and we see this on other Bravo reality shows where you start to get an idea of someone's like personality character. You start to see like, okay, Camille's gonna be the lazy one, and then like fast forward 3 more episodes, she's like, she does something amazing where now she's the hero. Do you think we're gonna have a turnaround with Camille, or do you think that she just won't last?
I do not see the seeds of a hero growing. I don't see fertile ground. I feel like that ground is salted and rotten. I don't think anything can grow there. So no, I don't see a hero's redemption coming.
All right, so we left off last week. Where do you see this cast kind of going? Because last week they had a good night out. We see things already kind of developing. We saw Ben developing last week when Camille was giving him a lap dance. That was a development we didn't need to see. This situation is developing, of course, more and more. But we already have Katie, the deckhand. She's late. We have Ross, which I have to give it to Ross, the bosun. Okay, this guy can party, and then he's up the next day and expects everyone to be up the next day. It kind of gives me Gary vibes, right? He loves to party, but he's going to work hard. He'll be there the next day, expecting you to be there. So, he's cool. I love the dynamic between Ben and I just where do you see these two teams going? Do you think the interior team is going to kind of take the cake this season, or do you think the exterior team is going to take the cake?
I think both have the ability to shine. Something that, and Adrian kind of told us last week, and I think, now it's in my head, but she kind of alluded to Camille possibly leaving the season early, which I can totally see that happening. And I'm wondering how necessary she really is, because she seems lazy and a drag on both teams when she's helping either. And I'm just wondering if, like, right now, the only time I see her really necessary is like when they're docking and they need her to throw a rope. And I think, is that something that an interior member could run out and just help do when they're docking?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I could totally see her leaving out of anger for some reason, and it's probably because someone asked her to clean her room or something. I'm saying all this, and then watch next week. You're going to tell me she's a guest next week, and how
I just feel like we've just had such shitty exterior interior crews, especially last season on season 9 of Below Deck, which was the worst. I mean, you set the bar so low that this season is going to be the best season just because of last season, right? And we have a really good exterior team. I love the dynamic between Tony and Ben. I think Tony and Ben are really great. I see Ben, because he hasn't already been given, but I think I see him getting the lead deckhand.
Yep.
So I think that will be cool. But also I see potential here with Haley and Alyssa and Camille being just fire this season.
I definitely see Haley and Alyssa doing a great job this season.
Yeah. Alyssa and
Haley.
I didn't hear you. No, I thought you didn't name Natalie's famous or favorite.
No. I did not. I purposely did not.
The other thing that I'm kind of like loving about Below Deck this season is just right off the bat, we've had 2 great charters. Like, the charter guests have been demanding, they've been insane, they've been fun, and now we have this new group of ladies, the ER doctors and nurses, which like Captain Lee said,
no, Jason, only doctors. These are all doctors.
That's right. I just made a Frasier mistake.
Same thing that Frasier did. These are all doctors.
They're all doctors, and like Captain Lee said, they deserve everything, especially after what this world has gone through in the past 2 years, right? So these ladies are just looking to have a great time, and they're giving us the drama. They're not as demanding as I would expect, but they're fun. They're fun.
Well, I think they're not crazy demanding because they're super intelligent. They're all doctors, and so they're not lunatics like we sometimes get.
They probably just want a break.
But there is a little drama amongst them. Like, how hard did literally everybody cringe when they were watching when the one doctor pulled the other's wig for some insane reason? Like, it didn't even make sense that she was doing it. Oh my God, I was so uncomfortable.
Did she say she just wanted to like pull it or something?
She was like, I was trying to do something different. Like, but I was trying to pull your hair
by maneuvering your wig.
Yeah, I don't even know what she was trying. It didn't make sense at all. And then it kind of came out through, like, as they're kind of catching us up through the conversations. I get she's been like picking on her the whole time or something, like just making little digs and stuff, and then went for her wig. I don't know. The lady, the doctor in the white dress right there holding her wig is just seems like a nuisance.
I don't really think this is a good idea. Like, I don't think it's a good idea to reach on anyone's hair, but especially this situation.
Why would you touch anybody in any way that's dressed up really nice? Like, especially a woman who's done a lot of getting ready and stuff. I feel like I know what women go through to get ready. Why would you dare lay a finger on them while they're still out and trying to be dressed up and glamorous? Come on, people, get it together.
ER nurses, listen, they deserve this trip. They deserve everything.
They are not ER nurses, Jason. They are doctors. Oh my God. People are going to be so angry at us. Keep calling these poor women nurses.
Well, I mean, listen, this also gives a great opportunity in case something does happen, Lee, you have all the doctors are on the boat. So maybe that's why we brought them in here. We've heard that Lee might leave around episode 6, which really sucks because I love Captain Lee. I love his one-liners. I love how he kind of leads a crew, the no bullshit approach to it. But I kind of see it happening sooner than later because it just doesn't look good. And it was so hard to watch him walk through the boat. It was really, really difficult.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, you just don't want to see someone in pain. You don't want to see someone operating at, below their normal. And he doesn't feel comfortable, obviously. Not just like physically uncomfortable, but just mentally uncomfortable as well. Like, he doesn't want to be that captain. And so, like, kind of the hope is he leaves, someone steps in, he heals up, and we see him, next season, or possibly even a great return in the following season or something like that. Like,
I mean, rumor has it though, he is retiring. He's like hanging the keys up and just calling it a day, which I do think so. Being at BravoCon and just watching him being kind of escorted on a golf cart to get around. I mean, he's been doing this for so long. It's like how it takes so much energy. You're a babysitter to like 12 crew members. And then B, you have to make this memorable experience for all these charter guests. You have to deal with ever-changing conditions in the water. It's got to be tiring, especially at that age.
Yeah, and he's married too. Probably wants to spend time with his wife some too. I mean, think about it. When he goes to work, there's no coming home at night from the job. You're stuck in the building for weeks,
So this point right here, and I should have asked Sean this too, but there was a point where the winds were heavy and it looked like the back of the boat was going to hit the dock. Miraculously, and with only a few feet, it did not.
Yeah, he gunned it. He gunned it out of there.
The drama though, like the build up here for this moment, I was like really expecting something to happen. I'm like, this is not a moment. This is not a Malta moment where Sandy is coming into a really narrow passage of the dolphins on both sides and just like tap tap. This is like a concrete dock.
Oh yeah, no, it was there was gonna be no. Oops, we did we just kissed it. Like no, it was. If it hit, this was gonna be major damage. So Captain Lee fortunately was able to swing it and get it out of there, and he was awesome. So it's kind of cool to see him pull off that maneuver. Like even though he's injured, he's not at full capacity. He still is like delivering. So that is awesome.
No, 100%. I mean, I don't know. I'm excited to see how a captain change mid-season will affect the crew. And for us as viewers, it's amazing. It will be amazing to watch. But at the same time, I'm like, this is not a good way to go out for Captain Lee. But it's nice to still see how he has his chops there. Yes, doctors. This is the next 800.
Hey, by the way, Captain Sean message that would have sucked if he hit that. So
I bet, because like we said, it's not one of those dolphins where you just rub up against, or that we saw in Below Deck Med. Do you think that Below Deck is just kicking Below Deck Med's ass this season? Because we were so excited for Below Deck Med. So excited. We got this new refreshed Captain Sandy. We got this new yacht.
Yeah, I want to cut crew. To episode 3 of Below Deck Med, and Jason was probably still just as excited. So I want to see. I'm going to wait a few more episodes to really judge whether or not this is kicking its ass. I think we start off enthusiastic. I think we stayed enthusiastic for a while. I stayed enthusiastic through to the end. But if I remember last week, you and Adrian were like, it didn't end good. And I'm like, it was great.
It kind of just like fell off just a little bit, in my opinion. But yeah, I have to say, with this cast, it's not like we didn't have like Chef Dave and Natasha, and we had to focus on this whole storyline the whole season.
That was annoying that they dragged us through that.
They dragged it. And there's no way in hell you're going to see Chef Rachel deal with some bullshit like that. And Chef Rachel is someone we really haven't talked about in, I think, the past 2 times we've been talking about Below Deck.
Yeah.
Very interesting to see her this season. I feel like we haven't even have begun to see Chef Rachel this season. Like I feel
Well,
like
okay, so
it's coming.
here's something that I think is interesting. On the smaller yachts, or the normal size yachts, this is a giant one, but the normal yachts she's been working on, she's been kicking ass. This time she's struggling a little, and I think it's merely because she's dealing with the challenge of the size. And we saw the kitchen that she has to go to, or like her food storage is like on another floor. And then she's trying to bring what she needs to the kitchen, and then like she's losing stuff in the way, like the truffle. And so I still think like she is obviously the Chef Rachel we know and love. She's as skilled as ever. I think she's just dealing with like, okay, how do I operate in a boat this big? And so I think she's going to get dialed in. I have no doubt she'll be awesome. I still think the food she put out was awesome. It's just,
yeah.
It wasn't as effortless as it normally is for her. She actually was sweating it a little, and she was like busting her hump. And I think it's just because she's like, geez, this is huge. Like, so, but
I've heard through the grapevine that Rachel has had a really, really good season, and the whole debacle between her and Bravo. Remember all the tweets that went out was after they had filmed, and this is why I was bringing up Shan's comment here. I hate the thought of Below Deck without Rachel. Damn you, Austin. Yeah, Rachel's just so good in this position because she is full of drama. She's full of one-liners and stuff. But she was fighting with a few other Below Deck people, Austin from Southern Charm. And then she kind of spilled a lot of messages from Bravo and stuff. And I just don't know how that's going to hinder her moving forward, especially coming back again season 11. We might have a new captain and a new chef.
I would hope not. But then again, if she doesn't want to be there, then good on her. You know, like she should be able to go off and not be part of that. But
yeah,
it would totally stink for us. We love her, and we love her as entertainment. She's funny, and she's always saying crazy stuff, and she's good TV. So it would stink to not have her. Yeah.
Oh, I think it'd be interesting. All right, so next week
you got to invite her, Jason.
We got to get her on here. You know, I think Adam is supposed to have her on again on the channel, so I'm really curious to see kind of like what she's doing, where her head's at. I mean, I don't know if we can ask her that, but I really want to know.
If she's not doing Below Deck, what's next? Like, where can we go?
What is next?
Where's her restaurant going to be? Where can we go have her cook for us? That's what I would want to know.
Lord. Well, listen, next week looks to be kind of an epic episode, I'm going to say. We see Katie kissing Ross. We see Alyssa in the hot tub with Ross. We see a lot of issues that are going to happen because in previews, we've seen Ross and Katie get really hot and heavy. I mean, Katie kisses Ross on the boat next week on the tender. So I just want to see how this drama is going to go down. But in previews before, we've seen like Ross and Katie kind of get like really hot and heavy in the hallway, and that hasn't happened yet. So I'm wondering if like Katie will get over the whole Alyssa thing fast. But I love this drama that we have on the boat.
Yeah. And they're both great gals, so hopefully he doesn't end up alienating both of them. There's a really good chance of that when he starts messing around like that. My opinion is he still is a 12-year-old going on 13. Everything he says is like a school child giggling at like, I mean, and then I say that, and then half of our show is fart jokes, and then
I mean, you know, but I think he's definitely there to cause a lot of drama this season, like a lot. And I'm curious. I'm curious to see how he's been in this industry for so long and worked on like 26 yachts, as he said. I'm like, how long were you working on 20? Have you been through 26 yachts because you fucked up every time you were on one, or do you just have that much experience? I really want to see which one it is.
Potentially, you with how long seasons are, it's essentially 3 months at a time, right? So there's a potential he's done 4 yachts a year. So geez, that's still quite a lot. He might go through yachts faster than he does
his women. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's 6.5 years right there. Yes, I pulled out a calculator to figure it out. It's late. That's 6.5 years. So that, I mean, that lines up with what I'd imagine his career length has been, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, no one's holding him down and having him repeatedly with them. Like they're just 6 years. So okay. It looks like we lost Jason, but I bet he just has to restart his camera. So yeah, I'm as far as the rest of the season goes, I think we have a lot of fun ahead. I think this crew has a lot of potential for drama and fun antics. So I'm looking forward to that. The only person who's kind of like annoying me is Camille and her just absolute laziness. Everyone else I'm having fun watching. Or I think they have the potential to give us some good TV.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's definitely more entertaining than yeah. Below Deck season 9. Guys. All right, we're gonna love you and leave you here. I'm sorry, guys. I do apologize. I'm working on like no sleep right now. So
hey, Jason, next week though.
Next
people
week.
need if you can't make it to if you're not in Florida and you can't make it, if you're in Florida and you're within driving distance, you guys got to go. This is going to be so much fun. The cast from Below Deck Adventure is going to be there. There's going to be other Below Deck people there. There's going to be some very big people from Below Deck are saying that they're going to be there. And then if you can't make it, and I'll let Jason give you the actual details for the actual event, but if you can't make it, join us here. Jason and I are working out the logistics. Maybe I'll be in the captain's seat kind of running things production wise. And like, I'm going to try to have, I'm going to see if Bailey and Greg and Natalie are available, see if I can pull any of them in, and maybe we'll hold the fort down and then we'll go live to Jason at the event.
I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to have a spot to the side where the cast members can come over and say hi really quick and maybe take a question or two. It's going to be a really great event. Again, guys, all the donations go to the Children's Museum of the Treasure Coast and the local Moms Network of Palm Beach. We're sponsoring it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's also Captain Carrie's birthday. So if you can make it, you know we're going to have fun. That is for sure.
If you're one of our naughty yachties, tell Jason and have him drag you on the camera to say hi. Like, come say hi. Like, we're going to have that camera going the whole time. And anytime I see Jason pop in frame with someone, we're going live to the spot and saying hi to you guys. So you guys got to come. Oh, and it is going to be earlier. It's going to be live. So it's going to be.
Yes.
What time are we aiming for, Jason?
I'm not sure yet. You know, we're still trying to work out the logistics, but I'll make sure I put the link right after this. I'll put the link where you can buy a ticket below. And I'm going to find out if we can get a donation link as well. So if anyone wants to participate or send something, I know a few people are sending toys in, and it's just going to be a blast. It'll be a blast. And
so we will
so many people for help put this together too.
For anyone on Twitter, you could follow me at SeeJoshGo. I'll be tweeting the link and the time, most importantly, for the show. It definitely will be earlier than normal. And no promises on how long the show will go. It might be a 2-hour show. It might go 3 hours. I might stay on with the length of the party. We'll see what's going on. And like I said, we're just playing it by ear, but we know we're gonna have fun. We know we're gonna have like opportunity for a lot of guests and stuff. So you definitely got to stop.
Yeah, and we have that one special guest.
Don't overpromise though, in case they can't make it. Because
no, they can. It was a no, and now it's an absolutely going to be there. So not going to say who it is. We are going to wait. We will have that person sit down. Maybe they'll be the first person to come up. So
I think we kind of tease them all night long so we get more viewers, Jason. we can't come out to get.
We could do that too. I think that'd be
okay.
fun.
But I'll say this: you guys will definitely know who we're talking about if that person comes on.
100%.
Okay.
100%. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us. Leave your comments below on what you guys think this season is going to be like. Do we think this is going to be another like kind of season, or do you think this is probably going to be? I'm thinking this is going to be the most epic season of Below Deck.
It has the potential
I think.
to be awesome. Yeah, it has. There's a lot going for it, so I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And Josh, thank you for joining me. Send your questions in for Captain Sean if you haven't done so, and hit that like button if you haven't done so already.
Yes,
and we will
please
see
do.
you guys. Well, I guess next week.
Next week, get ready to party. Bring a cocktail. Bring a cocktail.
Bring a cocktail.
Hey, we might take callers too. I don't know. I might need you guys to help me fill some time. So just everyone be ready. Everybody be here. Be ready. Have supplies. Have
be
snacks,
ready to be naughty.
have drinks,
bring your tip.
Yeah, bring your tip. Oh my god. We're gonna get thrown off air is what's gonna happen.
I know. Adam's gonna be like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Why does
First
Adam
of all,
let us on his channel?
I'm like on no sleep right now. We've had no sleep for like 2 days. There's so much going on. Really exciting news. Something's happening in the next 2 weeks too. That's really fun. So we're just trying to get all that wrapped up and stuff like that. But I really enjoy Below Deck, and I can't wait to see you guys all next week. We'll see you then. Bye, everyone.